Alright, y'all. Man, that sounded country right then. I am going in to the RT in League City convention. Look, I have a suitcase. Look, I look so professional. Alright, here we go. So I just finished my interview with Linda, and she is awesome. I love her, and now I'm going to read all her books and become her biggest fan. That's just how it works. So now I'm going to interview Emma Chase, and I'm very excited. She actually was in one of my other videos, the Bells on Wheel tour. Bells on Wheels. I think it was Bells on Wheels. So yeah, I'm excited to see if her answers change or whatever, but I'm having a great time. RT put out a fantastic event. And I'm really sad I missed the Dallas one, but this next year I'm hopefully going to go to the Vegas one. So yes, very excited. It's like a little taste before going to the big event. So yeah, I'm having a blast. And this evening I'm going to be going to the masquerade ball, which will be so much fun because I will be dressing up. And I have a mask, I have a necklace, I have a skirt, I have a top. It's going to be awesome sauce. Shout out to one of my friends who gets that reference. Anyway, so that's what I'm going right now. See you in a little bit. And now we have Emma Chase over here, who has interviewed me before on the Bells on Wheels tour and is amazing. I love her books. Emma, if you can tell me a little bit about your books.
Hi, I'm Emma Chase. I'm the author of the Tangled series and the Legal Brief series. The Tangled series is completely out. It starts with Tangled, Twisted, Tamed, and Tied. And the Legal Brief series is coming out now. So we have Overruled, Sustained, which is out now, and the final book in the series, Appealed, coming January 19th.
Now, every author you can see bleed through in the pages, whether it be their characters or something that happened in their books. Can you tell me a little bit about your books, about how you can see it bleed through on the pages?
You know, it's funny because sometimes you don't realize it until after the book is written and you look back. In Tangled, for example, even though the narrator is a guy, growing up I was very close with a group of guys who weren't unlike Drew, particularly in high school. And they weren't big brother type of guys. They were my friends, and they treated me kind of just like one of the guys. So I heard a lot of their comments and conversations, and I would have conversations with them. So a lot of that subconsciously went into Drew's personality. Should I look there? Okay. It wasn't anything conscious when I was writing Tangled, but looking back, I saw, little bits of information or just little attitudes that I had kind of internalized just growing up with them. I think that's one of the reasons it's so fun for me and kind of easy for me to slip into the male point of view perspective, because I had that growing up. It's funny where real life bleeds in, though, because, for example, in Tangled, here's just one example. In Tangled, Mackenzie, Drew's niece, says, "I have a vagina." And literally, Tangled had been published for months until I remembered. I have a sister who's much younger than I am. She's 19 years younger than I am. And I remembered, like, when she was 2 or 3, she used to say vagina. Yeah, so I mean, it's something that's something that no one in my family noticed when they read the book, but I've made that connection. So I think a lot of us goes into the book in little ways that we probably don't see while we're writing it, that don't become apparent until after and you look at the whole finished product. The same thing with Sustained from the Legal Brief series. There are 6 children in Sustained, ranging in age from 6 months to 14 years old. I myself have 2 children who are 13 and 11. So it's probably the most of myself, my real life, that has consciously gone into a book, because I had those experiences as a parent, the crying baby, the tantruming toddler for no reason whatsoever, the teenager, who is so smart and so spirited, and yet, can't follow the rules or gives you a hard time just because they can. So much of my kids and my experiences with them went into Sustained. And I think that's why Sustained feels so special to me too, because it's so relatable for me.
Now I know every author has a little bit of surprises when creating a book. Can you tell us a little bit about surprises for creating a book?
I think it's where the story goes. Because I'm a plotter, I kind of know where my story is supposed to go from beginning to end. But sometimes when I'm actually writing the scenes, it doesn't work. It's just not working for the character. It doesn't make sense. Something about it just isn't letting me go there. And when you try and push through and write it anyway, it's like a thorn in your side. Something is not right. So I think sometimes it's surprising where the characters take you. They take you to places that you never really first envisioned. In Sustained, there's the character called the Judge. I don't know if you've read Sustained yet. Okay, there's a character called the Judge, and he's Jake's mentor. Or the original version of Sustained did not include the Judge. But I needed someone as a father figure for Jake to explain why he's able to be so nurturing with the kids. And that's how the Judge came to be. And I mean, literally his character came into conception probably 3 weeks before I handed the manuscript in. And now he's my favorite part of the story. So it's little details like that you don't know how the characters are going to form, and you don't know kind of what little surprises are going to come out of that.
So I gotta ask, what's it like living in the Playboy mind of Drew?
It's fun. It's fun. You know what? I've come to the conclusion that I kind of live vicariously through my characters, and it's not their sex life. I think it's their freedom. It's their confidence and their boldness that Drew in particular has the confidence to say anything, to do anything. That's not how I am in real life. And so it's so refreshing and so fun to have a character who will literally say anything, and, we're going to love him anyway. Yeah, so it's fun. It doesn't get old.
So if you could have someone from the Legal Briefs series, who would it be and why?
It's funny because my first instinct was going to say Jake, because I love Jake in Sustained, but actually I think I would have coffee with Brent. And it could be because that's the book I'm working on right now. Often people ask me what my favorite, which of the series is my favorite book. And it's almost always the book that I'm working on just then. So I'm going to say Brent, because Brent, he's in the third book, Appealed. He's so funny and sweet and fun-loving, and he could turn on the alpha when he has to be, but he's just a really good time. And I like guys who are good times.
All right, everyone. Now, last night was a blast. I met some really cool people. Always buckle up for safety. I met some really cool people, awesome bloggers that I hope to see this morning. They said they were going to be there. So I'm really excited to see everyone. And so, yeah, I'm going to the book. Oh, it's cold. The book breakfast and blogger breakfast. I don't know what it's called. But I'm very excited to go see it. So, yeah, fun times. Woohoo! So if you could tell me a little bit about your series.
So my name is Amy Daws, and I write a series called the London Lovers series. I have a couple other books out as well, but primarily, I push my London Lovers series. It's kind of themed around American girls going to London and living there and starting new lives, sort of, so to speak. So yeah, the first book in the series was actually a prequel that I released later after I'd already written a book. But I decided I kind of wanted to go back and tell the college story. So technically book 1 isn't in London, but there's like hints to what's coming. And so then book 2 is in London, book 3 is in London. I have a 4th book coming out that will also be in London. So yeah. Every book for me is so different. I get something out of every book that I didn't expect. And every book that I've written, I write it in a different style, even in a different place in my house. It's weird. And I don't really realize that's happening until all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's weird. I've written this whole book from home in my bedroom, where the last book I wrote in the office basement and things like that. So, and every book kind of pushes me. The one I'm working on right now, I'm like terrified of. Like the character's just someone that I don't have any, not connection to, but like I've not lived her life. So like I'm scared every time I write, like because I need to get it right. And so I'm pushing myself harder than I've ever done before. And the fear is what's driving me. So, you know, it's just kind of fun what every book can bring something different to help me out. So I like that. Mm-hmm.
So if you could go into Starbucks and have coffee with one of your favorite characters, who would it be and why?
Hands down, it would be Frank. I created this character named Frank. He's a tall, skinny, ginger Brit, and he is fabulously gay and has wild style and personality and so funny. And it's funny because like I was sitting at a pizza place in my hometown before I'd ever written a book, and I saw this guy come in and he looked just like what I'm describing Frank to look like. And like I just saw him and I like Frank appeared in my mind and like I had to write him in the book. So like, and I didn't really realize what a big deal he was until I started getting reader feedback, and everybody loves Frank. Like I make a joke that he's the fan favorite. He totally is. And he'll probably be how I end the series because everybody wants to know what's going to happen to Frank, because he's kind of like, he's just like a little lost soul. He's like a rich socialite, but he's gay, so he has some struggles there, and he can't seem to get it together in relationships. And so it's just, he would be so much fun to like listen to what his life is like. So totally I want coffee with Frank.
What's your favorite part about being an author?
The readers, like, I mean, it's cool for me to sit and write something down, but it gets fun when readers start reading it and talking to you about it and messaging and reviewing and stuff like that. 'Cause yeah, like I like writing, but I can't do it without readers. I just can't. That's what drives me. It's what inspires me to keep going. And like even a bad review inspires me to want to do better next time. Like I look at that 2-star reviewer and I'm like, I'm going to get you next time. I'm going to write the next book and you're going to love it. I'm going to get you, you know? So that's kind of, I guess it'd be the readers for me. It's just opened a whole new world. My world's grown too with writing. Like I'm going to conferences in London now and stuff like that. Like I never would have done any of this had I not started writing books. So yeah.
So what can we expect next from you?
So next, right now I'm working on book 4 in the London Lovers series. It may be released as a series standalone, so it might not be connected to the series, but I haven't decided that yet. Just because I really want this book to shine, and I fear that I might lose series readers if I release a book 4. You know, people that don't want to read a series, standalone sometimes are easier to put out there for people to one click, and this one would be a really nice standalone no matter what. So yeah, book 4 in the London Lovers series. I wrote this, co-authored this ballerina book with Sarah Pepper, and that one's doing really well. It's probably both of our best sellers, and we might do another spin-off for a character in that book. So yeah, I mean, just keep writing. I'm just gonna always be working on something.
Okay, so I just finished with a couple of panels and I had 30 minutes to go get some food. It is 2 o'clock, so I got some Chex Mix and a Slim Jim and some gum, so I don't have terrible breath. But I'm having a great day, and this is an awesome event. I'm learning lots and lots of stuff and meeting even more people today, which is awesome. And the breakfast this morning was delicious. They served breakfast, or I like to call Texas bacon, because it was really crispy. I love that. I'm sorry, I'm from the South. We love our bacon very crispy, but it was very good. And I got to meet my friends from the masquerade last night. Have lots of fun. So much more to do today.
Go find your inner reader.
Go find your inner reader.